After wearing an Apple Watch for over 3 years straight, I have gone all in on the Garmin ecosystem. And if you're concerned about your health and your fitness and your golf game, then maybe you should consider it too. Let's talk about why. So when I finally decided to adopt an Apple Watch, I was stoked. The whole reason I did it was for health and wellness. The idea of closing your rings, the idea of finding something to gamify working out and my health, that really appealed to me. And it worked really well for a while, until I realized that the whole ring thing, it's very easy to game and it's not actually that helpful in terms of really tracking your health and your fitness. Yes, there are third-party apps that allow the Apple Watch to do a lot more when it comes to tracking health and fitness, and over the years, they've added a whole bunch. So it is still very good. Compared to nothing, you can get so much data with your Apple Watch. But once I started dipping my toes into Garmin, I realized the two were not the same. So my love affair with Garmin started almost 2 years ago when I went out for the release of their S70 golf watch.
And here we have it. This is the whole reason we came all the way up to Big Cedar Lodge, and it is the Garmin S70.
And over the years here at Breaking 80, I'd reviewed a handful of their golf watches, and they are very, very good. But I'd never actually considered one for day-to-day use and using it as more of a smartwatch. When I got my S70, I was blown away by the golf features and the GPS features, but I found myself being almost more intrigued by more of the lifestyle features. Things like their body battery, the better sleep tracking, and the fact that I could go almost an entire week without having to charge it. So I started wearing the S70, and to my surprise, I started loving it. After using the S70 for a few months, I got the opportunity to review one of the new Epix Pros, and that was essentially the S70 on steroids. It had almost all the golf features, but it had way more health and fitness things. It had activity tracking for just about any sport you could want to do. It had built-in maps. It had a better user interface with more buttons. It had basically everything I could want in a health and fitness tracker. Now, to be clear, this as a smartwatch, it's night and day better than the Garmin. This has all the built-in apps. It has so many usability. I still miss being able to control Spotify on my home setup just by going into the app. If you're looking for just a better smartwatch with some health features, go get an Apple Watch. Nobody does it better than Apple. But if you are looking for an incredible health and fitness watch that has some smartwatch features, then you might want to take a look at the Garmin. So let's jump into 5 reasons why I've gone all in on the Garmin ecosystem, and I'm not looking back. So the first reason is they have a suite of products to support that ecosystem. So I've now graduated the Fenix 8, which is their newest flagship watch, but it's not just the data I get from the watch. I use the Index S2 scale. So every morning I weigh myself and it automatically populates the data in my Garmin app. I use the Garmin blood pressure monitor, and it takes all that blood pressure data, it puts it in the app. And since this is a golf website, outside of just the fitness stuff, I use a Garmin Z30 rangefinder. So whenever I use it, it will automatically locate the pin and then beam the pin location on the green directly to my watch, amongst a bunch of other cool features. So while yes, Apple has a wonderful ecosystem. I've got an iPad, I've got an iPhone, I've got a MacBook Pro, I've got Apple TVs. When it comes to health and fitness and the activities that I enjoy most, Garmin has the better version of that same ecosystem. So the second reason kind of comes down to amateur versus professional. So the way that I look at the data that I got directly from my Apple Watch, I look at it as more amateur. So I'm not able to track a lot of the things in depth in the way that I would have liked. It does a great job with a very nice user interface of giving me basic data about my health and fitness. But with Garmin, it's taking that data from all of these different places, it puts it into an app that you can very easily customize. It gives you way more in-depth data about your training status, your training readiness, your sleep history, and how all of that works together to give you a snapshot of your kind of overall health and how you are doing on a daily basis. While initially the idea of the rings with the Apple Watch got me motivated to want to go and be more active, over time, as you realized that it was pretty easy to game and it didn't always feel super accurate, it started having less and less of an appeal. But now Garmin, on the other hand, where for instance, it will show me my fitness age. Right now, I'm 39, and it says my target fitness age is 33.5. I think currently, after the holidays, I'm up at 37. So I look at that, and it's going to give me recommendations for how to improve that based on my current activity levels. That is more motivating to me. Seeing that my training status is in recovery mode as opposed to productive mode, that makes me want to go work out harder. And the fact that Garmin watches have all of this health and all this tracking built in and are so much more customizable than the Apple ecosystem, it's just kind of had me falling in love with it. Now, I'm not saying Garmin watches are better than Apple watches. To be honest, for most people, the Apple Watch is probably a better fit. It's less buggy, it's sexier, the user interface in many times is better. But again, when it comes to health and fitness tracking, if that is your primary goal, Garmin really takes the edge from me. Not to mention the fact, with the higher end models, you essentially have a world-class golf watch built in. So that was one thing that I struggled with in the transition. Hey, real quick, are you watching this and you're considering picking up a new golf GPS watch? Then go take our 30-second quiz. You're gonna answer a few questions about what you were looking for, and I'm gonna give you my best recommendation on the device that is the best fit for your needs. You can find it at the link below, and you can do that while you're watching the rest of this video. All right, let's get back to it. The third reason I've made the switch to Garmin is because for golf, which is a huge part of my life, the Garmin watches are second to none. You have all the health and fitness benefits, and you've got a world-class golf watch, and you don't have to switch to a different device. Because if I'm out and I'm walking 7 miles, I want all of that data in the Garmin app. If I have to take this off, put on a different watch, and not use it, I'm missing a good portion of my activity for that particular day. So where these watches and this whole ecosystem really shines is if you ingrain it into every aspect of your life and use it as much as possible. So I love the fact that I can use this on the golf course, off the golf course, during workouts, during social time, whatever, and it's tracking all of that without getting in my way. I will say, if there's one thing I do miss, I love using Arcos sensors with the Apple Watch. The integration is excellent, and it means I don't have to use my phone at all when I'm using Arcos. To be perfectly honest, we talked about the Garmin ecosystem. One of the things that is part of that are the CT10 sensors that you put on your golf clubs, and it will track every single shot you hit. And it pairs with the watches, it pairs with the rangefinder, and all of those cool things. But that aspect of it is not quite as good as Arcos. So when it comes to shot tracking, I'll still use Arcos, but I would continue to wear my Garmin watch and use that for GPS distances. All right, the fourth reason I'm all in on the Garmin ecosystem is specifically for sleep tracking. Yes, you could track your sleep with an Apple Watch, but considering with most Apple Watches you have to charge them every night, it makes it kind of inconvenient to do sleep tracking. I've also noticed that when you're wearing the Apple Watch Ultra, like wearing this to bed, kind of annoyed me. It was big and bulky, and I frankly just didn't use it for sleep tracking. Even though the Garmin Fenix 8 is of a similar size, it tends to just disappear on my wrist. I have no issues sleeping with this, and the data I get from it is wonderful. So we spend a third of our life sleeping, and that has one of the biggest impacts in our overall health and fitness. So having a watch in an ecosystem that can accurately spot trends, tell you what's working, what's not, where you need to improve upon, this thing has been the best sleep tracker I have used for that. And the fact it then takes all that sleep data with my activity data and all the data from the other devices I talked about and gives me a holistic health snapshot that I can look at any time. That has not only been the thing that has gotten me wanting to work out more and take better care of my body, but it has made it so much easier to get accurate data and really be able to see accurately where I'm at. So finally, the last reason I switched is kind of to that point. It makes me want to be better. Just like the rings on Apple used to make me want to get better, now it's spending a little bit more time within the Garmin app, even though they don't have kind of a consumer-friendly, quirky, like close your rings type thing. It's going into all the data about training readiness, performance, my PRs, all of those different things. That, to me, at this point in my life, is so much more motivating than the Apple rings and what that did. And knowing that Garmin now has so much more information about me and my health and my activity levels, I know that it's giving me even better recommendations than I was ever getting with Apple. So all that to say, I just wanted to shoot this video because, honestly, Garmin has become a huge part of my life over the last couple years. Is it right for you? You probably know the answer to that. Like, are you more concerned with health and fitness and tracking than you are with convenient smartphone functions? Then there's a good chance this is for you. But if the health and the fitness and the activity stuff, if that's just kind of a bonus or not something you use at all, then definitely stick with Apple because, like I said, it's a better smartwatch, it's sleeker, it's sexier. But for me, for my health, and also, frankly, for my golf, Garmin is just a better fit. With that, my name's Sean Ogle. I'm the founder of this thing here, Breaking 80, where we talk about cool golf products and cool golf courses. If you got some value out of this, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button. And if you're looking for a golf GPS watch and you don't know if this one is right for you, go take our 30-second quiz. You're gonna answer a few questions about what you were looking for, and I'm gonna give you my best recommendation on the watch that best fits your needs. Go check it out at the link below, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.